Hi, my name is Eddie and this is How to Get Living. Today I'm going to talk about emotional healing. This is a really important topic. I've done some previous videos about negative emotions, how to sort of sense them, how to process them, how to build up your ability to handle them. And now I'm going to dive a little bit deeper. Okay, so a lot of negative emotions occur. You experience them on a day-to-day basis just as a result of events in your life, and those events could be things that are happening right in front of you, but they could easily be thoughts as well that are just in your mind. Okay, but there's also another kind of negative emotion that is coming from events in your past, memories. Okay, and this type of emotion is stored up in your body often. It's been there for a long time, and dealing with it is a more heavy-duty experience than just dealing with the kind of emotion that you experience based on something that's just happening right in front of you. Here's an example. Let's say you're in a social situation and you're at a party and you tell a joke and it doesn't go that well. You might feel a bit embarrassed. Okay, this goes back to the whole confidence thing that a lot of people have been asking me about. So you tell a joke, doesn't go down that well, you're embarrassed. Okay, so a big part of confidence is being able to just sit with that emotion, process it really quickly, and just get over it immediately. Feel it and have the capacity for it to just pass through you. You absorb it, process it, know what happened, and it can give you motivation and energy to do something different in the future. Okay, on that note, one of the best ways to handle that, if you do something, say something, you feel a bit embarrassed. This is how someone who's really confident handles that situation. Oh, that was embarrassing. I feel embarrassed. Just like that, it's just not a big deal. It just flows through them. Okay, but now I'm going to talk about emotional healing. I'm talking about negative emotion that is actually stored up in your body and it's been there for a long time from events that have happened in the past. Okay, and that requires more attention than just emotion from current events that are just happening right in front of you. Okay, so basically I'm going to summarize this up very quickly. Memories are not a record of events. That's not what they're there for. And that's why memories are inaccurate and they can even change. Okay, they're not a perfect reproduction of your sensory experience. That's not what memories are. Memories are there essentially, and I'm summarizing here, but memories are there essentially to help you avoid negative experiences in the future that are a mimic of negative experiences you had in the past. Like a really super simple example might be if you were walking around and you came across a bush that had fruit on it. If you ate the fruit and it tasted horrible, you experience a negative emotion. In the future, you're very much less likely to eat that bad tasting fruit because you experience a negative emotion. And that's kind of a relatively healthy version of processing negative emotion. But let's say, for example, you had something happen to you that you weren't able to understand. You weren't able to process it. Say you were sexually abused as a child, or in a previous relationship, your partner cheated on you, or let's say you did something that you felt betrayed your own values. Okay, all these scenarios can create very deep harm that can last a very long time. Now, the key to processing the negative emotion from your past, the key to emotional healing, is really the same as what I've already described in previous videos. It's really just having the capacity and being present with it. It's really the same thing. The difference is that it's going to take a lot longer and it's going to take a lot more attention to process negative emotions that are residual from previous events and memories than things that are just arising in front of you. Okay, it's going to take a lot more attention, a lot more time, and that's because they are stored up in your body. They're from a long time ago, and they were really important. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had such a strong impact. They wouldn't still be arising you when you think about them. So if you have this kind of traumatic event in your life, and when you think about or recall those events, you still feel a lot of strong emotion, then it's really important that you start processing it, that you, in a safe and careful way, and maybe with another person that knows what you're doing, that you recall that event, feel the negative emotion, be present with it and process it. I'll link some videos below that I've already done that can sort of help you understand how to do that. But that's essentially the key, which is that you have to deliberately go back, recall those events, sit with the memory, sit with the emotion, process that emotion, and that essentially is what we consider emotional healing. You see, you can't go back into your memory, you can't go back into your past and change what happened. You can't do that. What you can do is you can get to a point where it really doesn't bother you that much anymore. In fact, it can be very useful information going forward in the future. And as I mentioned earlier in this video, that's the purpose of memory, to help you avoid situations and avoid events and circumstances that have harmed you in the past. Okay, so how do you know that you have healed emotionally from something? It's when you recall it and it just doesn't really hurt that much anymore. You might understand that it was painful and you remember how you felt about it, but you can think about being sexually abused or being cheated on, or you can think about doing something awful that you felt really let yourself down, and it actually just doesn't bother you that much anymore. It doesn't hurt you that much anymore, and that's because you know that you won't do that again. You know that you're not going to go there again. Okay, so I've just really roughly outlined the process of emotional healing, which is just the same process I've already described, but it's adding in the idea that you need to recall the event that hurt you, and then sit with the emotion. There's other things you can do, like journal about it, write about it, talk about it with someone else who's doing the same kind of work that you're doing the emotional healing. But it is really, really important that you at least begin to start dealing with those previous hurts that have been hanging around your life for a long time, because they are stopping you from going forward. They're stopping you from going forward, okay? I really strongly encourage everyone who's watching this to start a process of learning to heal emotionally and get over the emotional wounds that they're carrying and let go of the emotional baggage that you have in your life. Remember to apply rule number 1, a little better every day. It's very important that you take this at a pace that you can handle, and just know that you'll get there, and eventually you'll be able to be free of the stored up trauma that you're carrying with you in your life, and be able to have a whole different life because you've learned the lesson that you needed to learn. Thank you for your time. Please like this video, hit the subscribe button, make sure you click the little bell so you get notification when I upload. Feel free to share this video, comment below with any questions or comments, and tune in for the next video. My name is Eddie, and this is How to Get Living.